Okay. Let me get the music switched over to something a little bit more our speed. Any tabs open? Okay. I'll bring that down a little bit so that my voice is over it. Silver Sanctuary jump scare, yeah. It's supposed to play the most of the song, but I cut it off because I had sound alerts muted. Um, my bad. But welcome in. Um, I'm really excited, actually for this because I've been wanting to do this for a while, ever since I saw this book. This is a little picture book called I'm Just a Little Guy: How to Escape the Horrors and Get Back to Dilly-Dallying, written by Charlie James and illustrated by Paige Tompkins. Um, I ordered it, it got lost in the mail, I finally got it, so I'm really excited to have it here. And I figure we'll just read through it in a nice chill background noise kind of stream. You can follow along, look at the pictures, the illustrations are all really adorable. And it's just a cute little book. I figure it's probably a pretty good time, since there's a lot of stressful things going on in the world, the horrors, if you will, and it's important to get back to dilly-dallying. The dillies aren't going to dally themselves. This little guy. This little guy gets it. So here's our little table of contents. And I figure I'll just read some of it, maybe not the whole thing, but we'll see. We'll see. Pleasure to meet me. My name is Paul Bog. I am a small frog. Before I do anything, I ask myself, is this something a little frog on a lily pad would do? And if the answer is no, I'm busy that day. This is the rule by which I live my once life on this wet, green earth. If you too want to live like a little guy on a lily pad, read on to learn from my example. Oh, we will. Here we can see little guy at home. And look, there he is in a little corner fishing. Oh, I'm a little reversed. Silver, you're more of a dally-dilly kind of guy. I see, I see. Well, hopefully this guide is still helpful for you. They say home is where the heart is. I say home is where you keep your stuff. Your heart, whenever possible, should remain firmly inside your body. Having a little nap. Collecting trinkets. Once my pockets have reached maximum trinket capacity, I like to carry a bindle over my shoulder. Anything can be a trinket. Heart-shaped rocks, buttons, engagement rings flung dramatically into the river, your neighbor's mail, teeth from on the ground. Hey, Ioneth. Welcome in. Just anything you come across can be a trinket. You never know. Look at this little guy. Pets. A pet is a little guy who lives in your house but doesn't pay rent. A pet must always be smaller than whatever kind of animal you are. I keep a cricket named Kyle who is classically trained in both opera and using the litter box. Uh-oh. Once I attempted to tame a stray beagle, breaking the cardinal pet-to-owner ratio guideline. Huge mistake. We still get lunch sometimes. Yes, Eoneth, classically trained in using the litter box, unlike our little meow meows who are technologically advanced. They are advanced litter box users. Hey, Tario! Yeah, the little meow meows! Shadow and Luna. I don't think I have a Luna. Oh, yeah, I do! there she is! I think I have a Luna graphic for every page of my stream at this point. Cooking. You will need an open flame you have little to no control over, pond water, bugs you don't know personally, a large pot someone lent you that you never returned because they called you uncouth at a tea party. How dare they? That's a little guy. Knows what's up. Luna is somehow even dumber than she looks. It doesn't seem possible. And yet. Instructions. Get distracted by a warm breeze that reminds you of a past lover and let the pot of pond water boil over. 2. Give up and pay a squirrel to deliver supper to your abode. Yeah, that sounds about right. Staying home with a cold. A cold is something you say you have when you want to stay home and gaze out the window. Put strawberry jam in a handkerchief for dramatic effect. Remember, it's not lying if you call it theater. Oh, and a little jam under the bed, just in case you need to pretend you've got the tuberculosis. Oh, I'm wasting away. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Hosting guests. Sometimes a weary traveler will ask to stay in your home. Typically, this is a friend or family member in town for a bread baking competition. I always offer to sleep in my sink so my guest can take the bed, but when they humbly decline, I am relieved. If I do not wish to entertain, that is what the 37 deadbolts on my front door are for. Unfortunately, they do not stop voles from digging up into my living room. Yeah, can't stop those voles. A little guy at work. Admiring this ladybug. A little snail in the background. Little apples. Them cheeks. Yes, Dario. All cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon. I'm no good at jobs. For starters, I don't even want to be there. I'd rather be throwing my head back and laughing knowingly in a big field. Interviewing for a job. If, however, I'm saving up for a particularly intricate sweater, I will begrudgingly get a real job that pays real coins in a burlap sack. I gravitate towards roles that require me to wear a smart little outfit, like mail frog or train conductor. He's so cute in his little mail outfit. Hey, it's Big Bad Dirty Dog. Welcome in. If you're here for the dilly-dallying, you are right on time. We are learning to escape the horrors with I'm Just a Little Guy by Charlie James and Paige Tompkins. It is customary to bring your potential employer a gift to show dedication. I like to bring a jar of bees. Once my coworkers see how much honey these guys can make, they'll forget all about the swarms, subsequent stings, and Mike's brief hospitalization. Look at this little bumblebee. Your resume is a great opportunity to show off your extensive work history. Mine includes baking bread, digging deep holes, and that one summer I worked for the CIA on an intelligence operation I am not at liberty to speak about. Fine, since you begged. I monitored a small pond for spies. I mean flies. I mean spies. Little fly spies. Whoever wrote this is a menace. Nope, the author is Charlie James, and the illustrator is Paige Tompkins, just in case anybody wants to look up their own copy. Self-employment. If possible, be your own boss. I pay myself $40 an hour to listen to trees falling in the forest. Between you and me, they make a sound every time. You mean international world-famous best-selling author Quan Mills? Probably right. Handling a difficult coworker. Write down everything you'd like to scream at their face onto a large scroll. Roll that scroll as tightly as possible and seal it in a glass bottle. Tie a piece of linen soaked in scotch to the bottle. Light it on fire. Throw the bottle into the sea. This is a particularly fantastic little illustration here. Molotov cocktail. But it's the Molotov cocktail you don't send. State of Flare, says Silver Bandit. Yeah. Tonight, as your head hits the pillow, you are permitted to picture your coworker getting into a non-lethal bicycle accident. You are even permitted to smile. Aww. He'll be fine. Correspondence. Emails, texts, calls, all of them are to be avoided. Instead, I opt for formal handwritten letters and scrolls. After all, little guys were never meant to be reachable at all hours of the day. Sometimes I'm busy using a toadstool as an umbrella and I need both hands. Isn't that the truth? So relatable. And of course, in emergencies, one can always place a steaming apple pie outside my window if they really need to get my attention. Yeah, this would work on me. Eoneth can ascribe to the fact that if anything smells like it's done, I'm gonna come sniffing around. Listen, if it means I get apple pies, that's a win-win. Avoiding burnout. For every hour of work I do, I spend 3 hours staring at a still life painting. The little caption says Franz van Estuary, 1582 to 1647. Oh, hey! Bronx girl, welcome on in. How are you? Oh, ads incoming. Thank you for your patience, everyone. We'll stick with it for just a second. Sorry about the ads, but Mr. Bezos has to take his cut, right? Ah, I see. Okay, well, we'll just carry on then. We'll see what happens. If that doesn't do the trick, consider holding a big seashell up to your ear so that you can hear the ocean. This will fool your nervous system into thinking you are on vacation and not emailing with Linda from accounting. I believe this is the same coworker who we're imagining getting into a non-lethal bicycle accident a couple pages ago. Yeah. Thanks, Linda. I see. Now the ads. Okay. They were just a little delayed. This art style reminds me a lot of Over the Garden Wall, which now that it's fall, it's time to watch again. Maybe we should do that on stream. I don't know. Do a little viewing party for Over the Garden Wall, a couple episodes maybe. I think that would be fun. There's a lot of really intricate little details in that show that I think are easy to miss. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would do it per se. But I think it can be done. I think we could figure out how to stream it directly. Beck Muffin says we could do an episode, a stream as like a Halloween countdown if you can wait until October to watch it. We have so many things to do in October though. We've got A Night in the Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny. Maybe we should have that on stream too. Love that book. Saving money. Sometimes I have a few loose coins left over after treating myself to a new porcelain figurine of a Bichon Frise. I cannot save money for the future. The future is too unknowable. I can, however, toss a little coin into a nearby wishing well and hope for the best. Look at how cute this is. A little guy in public. Oh gosh. I can only imagine how this is gonna go. Going out. Ah, public. The private of other people. I'm told it's important to leave my house from time to time, but I am told this by creatures who do not live at my house and do not understand how cozy it is. Exactly. If invited out, I will begrudgingly attend with a mug of hot tea I brought from home. And yes, at some point while gesticulating wildly, I will spill that tea on myself and on the floor. Apologies in advance. While a tavern or pub of sorts is preferable, I'll go anywhere that has a live all-cricket band playing freeform jazz. We have that already at home. Every night they are so loud. We can hear them from inside the house, just chirping away in the night. Freestyling it. If a bar is cash only, I recommend stopping by a fountain on the way over to gather coins. Not that I would ever do that, gathering coins from a fountain in order to take the bus home from the mall because your older siblings spent all of our money on food and accessories. What? Who said that? Transporting your body from one place to another. Assuming a sailboat or fixed gear bicycle is unavailable, I will occasionally catch a train or hitch a ride on the back of a wayward fox. Mario says, I mean, food is justifiable. Yeah, but when you are at the mall, you've gotta be smart about it, right? You gotta think, how much food do I really need? And do we have food at home? And how will I get home? Oh, right? All aboard the Wayward Key. If purchasing a car is absolutely necessary, I look for a used model with an old-timey horn. To avoid being pushed around by car salesmen, I like to bring along a creature that is larger than me. That's why I bring Eoneth. Or send him. Do not attempt to commute via skateboard. Little guys have all the enthusiasm and none of the core stability for that activity. Oh no! Bumping into your ex. I always wear my finest linens when I'm about town just in case I run into the snapping turtle I went on one date with 10 years ago. He never replied to my last handwritten ode, and I still think of him once a week. I love how the implication is that he's got like running mascara here. I love the idea of a frog's mascara not being waterproof. Tario says, does that make him your ex though? Maybe not as such, but in a way, in a way. Big crowds. If you find yourself in a large crowd, you need to quickly take control of the situation. The best way to take charge is to get a chant going. Some of my favorites include jam is jelly with seeds and crows aren't emo, they're goth. Yeah. A little guy with friends. The face of this chipmunk. Okay. Friends are creatures you'd share a baguette with. I cannot go more than a week without paying a visit to a friend, or I will start to howl at the moon. This is terribly confusing for the wolves who live down the lane. For their sake and mine, I schedule a minimum of 2 picnics a week to keep lonesomeness at arm's length. Silver, what would you chant? We've got to get your chant going. I love how the baguette is like human sized. Of course. Accommodating friends with different needs. While I desperately want to dictate the actions of those around me, I have been informed by a team of horse lawyers, asterisk, lawyers for horses, not horses who practice law, the lawyers themselves are goats, that I should not. I cannot control other beings, nor can I change them into versions of themselves I find more appealing. A difficult lesson to learn, indeed, little guy, but important. The bread just makes you think of a specific game, Tario. It makes me think of Expedition 33. Baguettes. Baguettes in Expedition 33 look so good. This old-timey car. I have a hunch that you can't either. I'm sorry you had to hear it from me. Birds will keep chirping, bees will keep buzzing, possums will keep lying motionless in a busy road during rush hour. A little winky face. Attending and hosting parties. Before going to a party, I always ask, will this interfere with me pondering my once precious life whilst sorting my button collection? If the answer is yes, I will make up an excuse like, I can't that night. I'm making a tart for the sick and needy. Very Scrooge McDuck, except with buttons. You know, and a frog. Just a little guy. I like to brainstorm several topics of conversation in advance. I cannot discuss religion, money, or which haircuts are bad. I can, however, talk at length about beans on toast. Talk about, not eat them though. I could talk about them, but I don't think I would partake. I guess it depends on the beans and the toast. So I guess I should never say never. When hosting, a charcuterie board is the perfect snack for groups. Birds will pick at the almonds, mice at the cheese, and raccoons at everything that remains. Yes. This is true. Raccoons will not be too picky. Brioche. Keeping secrets. I am a terrible secret keeper. What can I say? I love to discuss. I do my best to keep my friends' secrets private, but if push comes to shove, I will whisper the secret into a jar. If the secret is especially good, I will boil the jar just to be safe. This also helps with botulism. Practice this technique at home using one of my secrets. As a tadpole, I stole an extra helping of moss, then lied and blamed it on one of my 4,000 siblings. I've never heard a song and thought, this could use more bongo drums. And finally, I do not think highly of palm trees. Ah! Get 'em! Get that palm tree. Although we get coconuts from palm trees, so I guess I'm not a total palm tree hater. Crunch munch. Making enemies. All this talk of friends, but what of enemies? An enemy is a person who has inconvenienced you even slightly. Little guys must have between 1 and 3 enemies at any given time. One's enemies motivate one to work harder at their passions, be they line dancing or whittling sticks. I guess these ducks have inconvenienced our little guy. Don't think highly of those tall trees. That's a real knee slapper. Slapping my knee right now. My current enemy is a raccoon who said my smoking jacket makes me look like an adjunct professor. I am working on finding a backup enemy. Unfortunately, everyone in town is very kind. Oh, he's so cute though. Aww. A little guy in love. Having a crush is when you want to go to the farmer's market with someone. I avoid this feeling at all costs. It's a distraction from the important things in life, like looking at paintings of ships. On occasion, I will wave to the field mouse that lives on a houseboat, but I can't make eye contact with her for too long without getting a crush. Once a crush is formed, there's no telling what I might do next. Pick flowers for a nice bouquet, gaze wistfully out the window. Sick and twisted behavior, absolutely. I didn't ghostwrite this book, but if I had, there would be signs. Gonna put on a little bit of chapstick. Back Muffin says, as Deanie would say, Gross. Exactly. Exactly. There we go. That is much better. On my little lip balm, it's in a little rose cup. And we can see aforementioned sick and twisted behavior of gazing wistfully out the window. First dates. Oh my. After you've formed an unshakable crush, you can ask them on a date. Some good first dates include counting the rings on an old oak tree, getting the same haircut, and mating. Saucy Froggy, exactly. Oh gosh. An outfit can make or break your date. Try to select something both smart and comfortable. I could wear my suit and tie, but if the waistcoat bunches around my underarms, I'm going to misbehave the whole time. Pick a look that says, I've been on a sailboat before, but in a totally casual way. Listen, Tario, little guys don't have time to waste, I guess. You know, you gotta cut to the chase. I just love it, but if my waistcoat bunches around my underarms, I'm going to misbehave the whole time. Like, yeah, that's valid. On a date, it is customary to tell a few jokes. If my date does not laugh, I tell them it's a poem. A poem is a joke that isn't funny. Okay, but that was funny. Being single. Being unwed is underrated. There are many perks. For instance, you never have to double your oatmeal. You get to pick all the area rugs in your cottage. You have plenty of time to put little ships in glass bottles. Sure, it's nice to go through life with another creature by your side, but just think of all the looking at moss-covered rocks you could get done on your own. Moss-covered rocks are pretty great. Looks like we've got another ad break coming soon. We're almost at the end. No idea when it's actually going to start. Ooh, this page is cute. Okay. Little guy in a vast and unknowable universe. Gonna give that a minute to play out on those ads and everybody can come back. Now is a good time. Have a sip of my smoothie. Enjoy this moment. I'm so glad that everybody is here. I'm glad I get to share this little book with everyone. Get back to dilly-dallying in the best possible way. Oh, the ads are getting spicy? I try not to watch them, so hopefully nothing too annoying is coming up. Mostly they're like Taco Bell ads, as far as I'm aware. Is the point of this book to take and appreciate the little things in life? Oh, I'll hydrate again. Well, or I'll hydrate a different. Here's my cup. Alright, hydration, check. Thank you for checking out your book. And yeah, I think it's to be a little frog on a lily pad. I think that this is based off of a children's fables, like fairy tales book, called like The Adventures of Mr. Toad and Frog or something like that. It's got a very similar like little woodland creatures vibe where they just do have little adventures. Um, yeah, Frog and Toad. Um, when I was a kid, my mother, whenever she would like go over a bump or something in the road, would just yell, "Mr. Toad's Wild Ride," so that I wouldn't get scared. And I always think of that. Maybe I'll hunt down one of those books and we'll do that one next time. And we're back from ads. Thank you, Tario. A little guy in a vast and unknowable universe. A little guy is small. The universe is big. Too big, in my opinion. But nobody put me in charge of picking the sizes of things. Very true. Big questions. Though this might come as a surprise, I do not have all the answers. There are bird baths I haven't splashed in, and riddles no one has explained to me. There are only two things I know for certain. What I'm having for dinner, which is soup, and what I'm having for lunch the next day, leftover soup. Say it with me, soup is so good! Little guy, look at just 3-bug chili, cricket noodle, beetle bisque, worm chowder, and just slug. Oh my gosh, it's almost soup season again. Poor Beck Muffin and Eoneth have to have soup once a week with me during soup season. Stargazing. When I feel myself getting too metaphorically big for my metaphorical britches, I like to look up at the stars to remind myself I am but a tadpole in the stream of life. To the soup aisle. Yes, Dario. Where they have soup. I recommend bringing a thick quilt and a friend who's good at pointing and going, "Look! This is a nighttime activity. During the day, stars are busy being diamonds." You never know. These days you might see a satellite or a shooting star or a UFO, especially if you're in New Jersey. Anxiety. Sometimes things are bad. Worse, however, is when things might be bad soon. If you are unfamiliar with anxiety, there are several ways you can trigger this feeling. Oh boy. Drink a cappuccino on an empty stomach and visit a ceramics studio with no public restroom. Drop your corncob pipe in a storm drain. Oh no. Tell your mother something about yourself. Oh gosh. Oh no. My only advice for limiting anxiety is to spend 50 to 90% of your life supine near a large body of water. The ducks. Like, is he gonna be alright? Listen, I can attest that being supine by a large body of water is very soothing, extremely relaxing. I don't know if we can get away with spending 50 to 90% of my time there, but if I could, I could. Finding a therapist. If you've already tried speaking directly into a wishing well to no avail, I suggest talking to a wise old owl or a professional therapist, interchangeable. Try not to pay out of pocket for therapy. Most small frog pockets are already full to the brim with stamps and smooth rocks anyway. Look at that, is a wise owl. And a professional therapist. Listen, therapy is fantastic. If you have anxieties or if you are struggling at all and feel like talking it out with another person might help, I cannot recommend it enough. It's highly stigmatized. You know, a lot of people think that they have to have problems with a capital P to go to therapy, and that's just not the case. You can go for anything and everything, or even nothing if there's just something that is on your mind or bothering you. um you should absolutely feel like therapy is an option that could work for you. Beck Griffin had therapy today, in fact. Tario says, nah, that owl don't know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Do you? Actually have a Tootsie Pop right here. We could do science. Screaming. Sometimes there is nothing more to do but scream. Locate the moon and howl to your heart's content. If it's daytime, check to see if the moon is out. If she is unavailable, you may scream into a deep well. Oh boy. Um, so back before the lockdowns, when COVID was starting to ramp up and the college that I was attending was considering closing, like they weren't sure or not, or maybe it was they had decided they were going to close, but the students were still there. Anyway, it was a big mess. Everybody was super anxious. And so an all email just went out to the entire school, staff, students, everyone, saying that we were going to have a 10 p.m. howl. And I didn't know what this meant. Nobody knew what this meant, but sure as sugar, at around 10 p.m., you could just start hearing just students going out into the common areas and screaming, howling at the moon, screaming. It was just like this huge cathartic release for everybody who was so tense. Yeah, no, it was a good time. Yeah, more communal screaming, I think, would do us all good. Fear of death. When I was first informed that I will one day die, I was not pleased. Having sat with this fact for several years, I am still perturbed. This is such a good picture. There's really no getting around it. Everything alive will stop being alive. Logs were trees, dead flowers were alive flowers, and bones were guys we knew. For this I have no remedy except to say, I am glad to have witnessed the trees, and flowers, and guys. It's all very nice while it lasts. As for what happens after we die, that's not my business. I'm sure I'll find out when I get dead, but right now I'm preoccupied with several things. Today there are pants that need patching, and sailboats that need looking at. And that's it. This our little guy living the dream. Doing exactly as he should. Read the little blurb at the end. Charlie James is a comedian and writer living in Los Angeles. His viral Little Frog sketches on TikTok, oh there it is, yep, have garnered tens of millions of views. His work is popular with gay daughters and their exotic pets. Paige Tompkins is an illustrator and frog enthusiast from the Pacific Northwest. She specializes in creating fantastical worlds through watercolor and ink. I think that was a perfect collaboration the two of them did on this little book, I Am Just a Little Guy. And with that, just want to keep it nice and short and sweet. We're coming up on almost an hour. Let's a couple more things. Why don't we look today up in the Book of Days, since we're having books. So pardon the dust jacket, but this is the Illuminated Book of Days. And we are looking for September 4th. So. May, June, July, August. Well, for no particular reason, let's just check what August 12th says. Oh, happy birthday to your friend, Tario. We're going to see their birthday entry in the Book of Days. You can tell them. Let's see. Let me move a couple things over so I can slide this book under. But isn't this just a cute little book? Tario says, say less. I get to put my mailman uniform on today. Oh, heck yeah. You're just like the little guy. Then let's see. What is... Okay, September. Got a little bit too far. September 4th. Oh, this one's a little short. We'll do a couple. Founding of Los Angeles in 1781. Let's go back since it's still early. I just love the art in this book. September blow soft till the fruits in the loft. Here's the art for September. Really beautiful. See at the bottom. Emma Nutt, the first female telephone operator, begins work in Boston on September 1st, 1878. This is the beginning of oyster season. At Colchester in England, a toast is traditionally drunk to the Queen in a thimbleful of gin, and a pinch of gingerbread is served. Mario says it feels like Art Deco style. Yeah. There's all different like illustrations in here and little facts. Oysters should be eaten only in months that have the letter R in their names, which excludes the warm months. September is the first oyster month after the no R summer months. In the 19th century, people could ship each other barrels of oysters as presents, even if they lived as far as a month's journey away. Oysters were packed in barrels of salted water, which was changed every day, and cornmeal was scattered throughout the barrel. Huh. On the second, it says, Belgium's most famous bell, clock... Oh, I don't know the pronunciation of that. Roland? Is consecrated in 1660 in Ghent. It weighs 13,310 pounds, or 6,050 kilograms. The Great Fire of London is September 2nd, 1666. And September 3rd, Merry in September's shine, your living will be rich and fine. Just a little scrap of poetry. And yeah, you can see there's a lot more for the rest of the days. Oh, for some reason on the 8th, it says the first Monday in September is American Labor Day. We did have that. It was early this year. Early in the month. And of course, September is back to school time. Now, what I'm the most excited about is spooky season. So, like we were saying, we might start doing some Over the Garden Wall, some Night in the Lonesome October, and go from there. Let me bring us over to adding screen. Oh, my captions are not working for some reason. Sorry about that. If I can figure out what's wrong with them. No? Okay. Oh, maybe it's the wrong audio. Let me try something. Try switching to this one. Aha! Okay, so I have the wrong I had the wrong audio on the entire time. I hope that wasn't too bad. I suppose that with the book on in frame, it might have been easier to read along. Hopefully, for anybody that has trouble following along with words. I know that these captions aren't always right, but I like to have them on whenever I can. Oh, ads are coming up. All right, well then, why don't we just go on over to the ending screen and call it? Let me go ahead and over to that. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Let's take a look and see if there's anybody that we want to raid. Let's see. Oh, there's another librarian on. Lapis Aonaris is playing Hollow Knight, and the Lounging Potato is playing Date Everything. Oh, that sounds fun. Let's see. Until I think let's just call it here. I'm not really sure if everybody has had a chance. I don't want to spoil anybody on Silk Song yet if you're waiting to get your chance to play it. Um, but thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And again, we're going to keep doing more short form little streams like this. So just keep an eye out for announcements whenever you see them. Thank you so much.